Welcome to the first episode of NBA Power Hour. I'm your host, Leo Bias. We are talking about the overhyped roster of the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James and them boys. They put a smackdown on the Celtics yesterday. I'm going to break all that down. There is a huge overreaction on the roster, in my opinion, and I'm going to tell you guys why. We are also discussing the Minnesota Timberwolves and where they rank amongst the best in the Western Conference. The third topic will be the Utah Jazz and how Jay Crowder will help them in the long run, which I think he will. He's a very good player. He needed change, and the Jazz traded for him, and he performed in his debut yesterday. Lots of good stuff, guys. The lines are open. The number is 209 565 3079. Again, the number is 209 565 3079. So let's get to the Cleveland Cavaliers and the overhyped roster that so many talking heads are talking about right now. I'm not buying it, guys. I know they played very well yesterday. I enjoyed the renowned enthusiasm from LeBron James and his teammates. It seemed like they were playing with life, which is a good thing, sure. But will these guys show up when it really matters in the NBA playoffs? I don't think they will. I don't think any of these guys that they got are anywhere near star players. They have LeBron James, the best player on earth, and then they have a bunch of above average players. And in the playoffs, to me, it just won't work. You still have the Boston Celtics, the Toronto Raptors, the Milwaukee Bucks. And in my opinion, those teams, barring injury, have better rosters, have better overall rosters than this current Cleveland Cavaliers roster. Let me check the lines right now. Again, the lines are open at 565 3079. Let's see how it looks. All right, that is good. I'm gonna time this, guys, because we gotta be here out in an hour or less. But yeah, when I look at the Cavaliers, yeah, George Hill scored 12 points. He grabbed about 3 rebounds, 1 assist. He was plus 17 yesterday. Larry Nance Jr., 5 points, 4 rebounds. Jordan Clarkson, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, was a plus 8. Rodney Hood for 15 points, 3 rebounds, was a plus 14. Had scored 3 3-pointers. He used 3 of 6, so 50%. That's pretty solid, pretty damn good, as a matter of fact. LeBron James, 24, 8, and 10, plus 23, plus minus. And you had J.R. Smith with 15 and Osman with 12. Osman had that breakaway dunk that did not go in. That was pretty funny to watch. I can't believe he missed that dunk, but still, shout out to him for playing very good defense. Now, again, I gave you guys these stats. Yeah, every single member played very good, but do you see them performing at this type of level when, honestly, Larry Nance and Clarkson, they have zero playoff experience? I don't see how they're going to handle the pressure. And if you know Jordan Clarkson's game, we know that he's super sporadic. And to me, at times, he's super inconsistent. So I don't know if he will perform at that type of level when it truly does matter, which is why I have the Celtics, the Raptors, and a healthy Milwaukee Bucks team. And by that, I mean Jabari Parker coming back into form by the playoffs. If he comes back into form by the playoffs, along with Middleton, Bledsoe, and the Greek Freak, then to me, that Milwaukee Bucks team is better than this Cleveland Cavaliers team. George Hill, out of all players, is the most unreliable player when it comes down to it. And I'm not talking about just his overall play. I'm talking about his ability to not show up because of injuries. Last year against the Golden State Warriors, when he played his best basketball of his entire career with the Utah Jazz, he was injured. Uh, to me, he's shown throughout his career that he's just not reliable in big moments. So I don't expect anything to change now that he's 30 years old or close to that. He just came from the Kings. It was a pleasure covering him. He was a consummate professional, had, good conversations with him. But he's not Isaiah Thomas, a healthy Isaiah Thomas, that is. He's not Kyrie Irving. He's not a top echelon point guard, which is why I don't think this team will perform when it truly matters. Will they get out of the first round? Sure. Second round? Sure, I'll give you that. But I don't think they will make it to the NBA Finals just on the fact that these guys, even Rodney Hood, I think he's had one playoff appearance, two max. I'm not sure. I'll double check on that. But I just don't see him with George Hill, who has a lot of playoff experience, but again, in big moments, he's not really there, or he just doesn't perform at a high level. I don't see it, guys. LeBron James has a lot of pressure. J.R. Smith, probably the closest thing to it as far as performing in big moments. He has hit big shots before. I don't expect that to change, but again, J.R. Smith, super sporadic. He is a streaky shooter, just like Rodney Hood is, just like Jordan Clarkson is. So that is why I have so many doubts on this team. And all the talking heads, Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, all those talking heads on national television, just handing over the reigns, saying like, "Oh yeah, they're back. They're the favorites." And I'm like, "Really? They're the favorites?" There are so many question marks still. Are they better? I think they're better now for the season, but when it comes down to the playoffs, I do not think they will be better. I just don't see it. Uh, Dennis Beer said the Cavs look good on the game. That does not count. Playoffs will show other flaws and weaknesses. That's exactly what I'm saying, man. I just don't see it from these guys, man. What's up, Big Time? What's up, boy? LeBron putting the team on his back. That's the only way I see things working out, honestly. If LeBron James just averages a triple double heading in the first, second, and third round, and then possibly into the finals, but this Cavs team will get demolished by the Golden State Warriors, by the Houston Rockets, by the OKC Thunder, even by the Minnesota Timberwolves. There's not the Cavs are not better than any of those four teams that I just named. Okay. And we'll talk about the Timberwolves and the Utah Jazz, who I'm super excited about because of their sensational. My guy can't say it. Their amazing rookie, Donovan Mitchell. To me, he is rookie of the year. I know Ben Simmons has been amazing all season long, and he's put up all-star numbers. Anytime you get a red shirt season, to me, you have to give it to the next closest thing to you. And some can debate that Donovan Mitchell's having maybe even a bigger impact on in a tougher conference and on a team that's not as talented as the 76ers. And you have to put that all into account because that's what I that's what the voters will have to discuss when voting for Rookie of the Year. And that's why I have Donovan Mitchell as Rookie of the Year right now. And when the season ended, I would give it to him again because he is a true rookie. He's coming straight out of college. He doesn't know the NBA game as well as Simmons, who sat out, who experienced the travel, who experienced uh, the better meal prepping, the physical strength, and stuff like that. And to me, anytime you lose a guy like Gordon Hayward, and then your talent around you is not that strong, then you deserve it more, in my opinion, especially when you're putting up numbers and you're winning games. Moving on to the Timberwolves, you guys can go ahead and call in. Again, it's 219-565-3079. I'm encouraging everyone to call in right now. The T Wolves played the Kings last night. Cat 29 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, was a plus 12. Butler had 18 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, so it's plus 11. Andrew Wiggins, 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. That big three is young. They're explosive. They're exciting to watch. I can't wait to see what they do in the playoffs. It's going to be tough for them. I feel like they really have to get home court advantage to advance past the first round because if they don't, then the OKC Thunder, on paper, because of experience and stuff like that, I do give them the edge over the T Wolves in the playoffs. But long term, obviously the T Wolves, barring some catastrophe injury, will be better than OKC Thunder. there's the Thunder again, barring some injury and Paul George not leaving to LA next year. They also have a bright future, but I just don't trust Carmelo Anthony and the stuff that he brings to the table. He should be coming off the bench and providing that super scoring, that super score that so many of these teams need. And his pride gets in the way, which is why I have some question marks on that team. And obviously, not making any moves at the deadline. Like they did not go after Avery Bradley. They missed out on Joe Johnson, who just got a buyout, by the Kings. They didn't go in and cash in there. I thought they needed a little bit more scoring off the bench since Carmelo was reluctant to come off the bench, and they didn't fill that void of Robertson. I mean, he's a huge, huge defender. He's one of the best in the entire league. He can guard 1 through 4, super versatile. Yeah, he's not very good offensively, but anytime that you're that important and you bring that much of an impact to a team, then you have to go and replace that type of player. They did not do it. I don't know why. They don't have many assets because they gave him up a lot in that PG and Carmelo trade. So we'll see what happens. But Dennis just say that I believe the Timberwolves are just happy to be able to make the playoffs after all these years. Absolutely. You have to be able to crawl before you walk, and you have to be able to walk before you run. So it's baby steps. If they do make the playoffs, which they will, barring some crazy, crazy multiple injuries, they will make the playoffs. And I think the question now is, are they better than the Houston Rockets, the Spurs, which I think they are? Are they not better than the Warriors? Are they better than the Thunder? Those are the 3 teams that worry me that are better than them: the Rockets, the Thunder, and the champions, the Warriors. So unless they can get home court advantage and possibly have that 3 against 6, 4 against 5 matchup, then I'll see them advancing. Maybe they can get a 4 seed and then the Spurs get a 5 seed. Then I think they'll beat the Spurs. It just depends if Kawhi comes back. The Spurs without Kawhi are not the San Antonio Spurs. They're not that super machine that we all love and appreciate every single season. But if you guys do want to call in, it's 209-565-3079. Again, I'm going to put that on the chat right now. You guys can call in and join the conversation. So it's 565-3079. The lines are open. We had a lot of people towards the end of the last CK podcast. Again, this is the NBA Power Hour where we talk all NBA. It's going to be fun. I want this to grow. I want you guys to go ahead and call in right now. Lots of games going on as well. Let's double check on all the teams right now. We got the Knicks playing the Sixers. It is half. The Sixers lead 57-55. It's a must win for the Sixers. They cannot lose to this depleted New York Knicks team. Then you got the Pistons losing to the Pelicans at the half 60-52. I think the Pistons really need this game. No DeMarcus Cousins. You got the Clippers and the Nets playing. The Clippers are taking care of business on the road, 45-28, second quarter still. Got the Magic and the Bulls. That game just started. Then the Spurs and Jazz later today, 6 p.m. So after this show ends, you guys will be able to enjoy that game and the later game, which is the Suns and the Golden State Warriors. The Suns should not be on national television ever. That team is horrendous. The fact that they were down by 50 points and the Spurs literally stopped playing because they were like, we can't continue to embarrass this team. It's pretty damn bad. So please, NBA, stop putting the Suns on national television anywhere near TV. That team is an embarrassment. Yeah, I know some Suns fans might get butthurt about that, but it is what it is, man. Who would win in the first round? Exactly. So Brandon Rogers just asked who would win in the first round, T Wolves or the OKC Thunder. Again, depending on who has home court advantage, I'm going to go with the OKC Thunder just on pure experience and just pure talent. To me, the Oklahoma City Thunder have more talent in terms of just big name. Andrew Wiggins to me is not better than than Paul George. Obviously, their point guard is not better. Jeff Teague is not better than Russell Westbrook. Jimmy Butler, Towns is better than their bigs, but you have Steven Adams, who's pretty damn good. Obviously, not on Towns' level, but comparable and very effective in what he does. Also, you have the Carmelo element. If Carmelo's on, then he's on, and he's pretty damn good. But if he's a defensive liability, then it just depends. But I do see the OKC Thunder winning in 7, regardless of who gets home court advantage. It's going to be a really good series. So hopefully we see either, obviously it's going to be Golden State, Houston 1 and 2, and then you got the battle for number 3, which can go OKC, Spurs, and the T Wolves. So if you get the 4 and 5, if you get the 3 seed, you're going to face a 6 seed. It's going to be the Nuggets, the Pelicans, the Clippers. So there are some teams. So to me, if you get 3 and 6, yeah. So the 4 and 5 match is going to be very interesting. You know what I mean? Like whoever gets 4 and 5, that's going to go 7 most likely. That'll be very fun to watch. But again, for the new people that are chiming in, again, I already spoke about the Cavs and the other and the overhype. It's an overhype Monday on Abraham Lincoln's birthday. I just don't see George Hill and Larry Nance, Clarkson, who have no playoff experience. Hill does, but Hill tends to disappear by getting injured or not playing at his high level like during the regular season. I just don't see it. Rodney Hood super inconsistent as well, which is why the Jazz had to get rid of him. They weren't sold on him in terms of giving him an extension. Can he shoot the rock? Sure. I like these guys during the season, but when it comes down to it, I just don't see them beating the Raptors or the Celtics. If it came down to that match, or even the Bucks, if asterisk Jabari Parker can get healthy, because honestly, Jabari Parker is better than every single player on that Cavs roster except for LeBron James. And I think Bledsoe is better than every single player besides LeBron James. So when you look at just straight talent, the Bucks have more talent. I also Osman, he's a question mark. I don't know what he's all about. Uh, he's a nice energy player. He's not a very good free throw shooter. Obviously, he missed a breakaway dunk, but he does bring that intangible that they were missing, which is hustle, heart. Every team needs that type of player because if you don't have that type of player, then you probably won't get out of some holes that you might get into, especially in the playoffs where you need to be on your A game, and Osman is those type of players that you really, really need, even though he may miss a breakaway dunk and stuff like that. But what's up, Brandon Schultz? Shout out to you, boy. Devin, you see Utah is a better team than Minnesota. I don't see them nowhere near Minnesota right now. In the near future, possibly, but with the addition, and I was going to get to that, with the addition of Jay Crowder, who brings that element of 3-point shooting and defense. I love how Kirk Snyder will make him better, just like Brad Stevens did in Boston. Expect Jay Crowder to play like he did yesterday. He had 15 points, and he just had that. After the game, they asked him about the move, and he just felt relieved. He said he really needed a change. All these players, as Isaiah Thomas played very well in his debut, all the Cavs played well in their debut. Again, once these teams start cracking down on the Cavs, I think things will get very interesting, and by that I mean they will not advance to the finals in the East. So unless Clarkson and these guys just go off in the playoffs, I don't see them being better. But going back to the Jazz, I love Donovan Mitchell. He is a future superstar in the league, barring injury. He literally can do it all. He can shoot. He can play in the pick and roll. He's very smart. His basketball IQ is off the charts. He's super athletic. He can do it all. He's a two-way player. He can guard your best player and make it very tough on him, which is those type of players are rare. And the Utah Jazz struck gold when they drafted him and moved up to number 13. Again, the lines are open up 565-3079. Want you guys to call in right now. um, so the Utah Jazz, I like Royce O'Neal. He brings that defensive element as well. I just like what they're doing there. They won't make the playoffs. At least I don't think they will, but if they do, I would love for them to go up against the Golden State Warriors or the Houston Rockets. Learn from that series because they won't win that series. So even if they do make the playoffs, it's a first round and out, possibly a sweep, but it's always good to make the playoffs and bring that playoff experience element to these young players. And if Mitchell can lead that team with Rudy Gobert, then that'll be amazing. A huge, huge step in the right direction for the Jazz. But I just don't see them making the playoffs this year. But if they do, which I hope they do, because I'd rather them make the playoffs than the Pelicans um, or the Clippers. Trust me, I rather the Jazz make the playoffs. So we'll see. It'll be very interesting to see what happens there. Raheem says we need Luca, so I'm assuming that you're probably a Kings fan. It's not. Every team needs Luca Doncic. Luca Doncic to me is the man. He is the best player in the 2018 class, hands down. Right now, as it stands, I got Luca Doncic, DeAndre Ayton, Trey Young, Jaren Jackson at 4, Miles Bridges at 5, which not many people have in their top 5. He's 8, 9 for a lot of the draft, mock draft that I've seen, but I do have him in my top 5. And I got Michael Porter Jr. because of injuries at 6. And then I have Marvin Bagley at number 7. And then Colin Sexton, Mikal Bridges. Not sure where to put them, but that's where I have these type of players. Again, my big board right now, my top 3, Luka Doncic, DeAndre Ayton, Trey Young. If you're the Kings, I would be happy with any of those players, even Jaren Jackson, who can potentially even be the best big in this draft. Lots of good stuff there. Who's your top 5 best picks this year? We need a small forwards because Bogdan can play shooting guard. Again, Luka Doncic can play the 3. That'll be his natural position at the next level. He's a guy who can play the 3, but can also slide down and play the 2 and the 1, just like Bogey plays the 1 sometimes, right? We all enjoy watching Bogdanovich play the 1 because he's such a great playmaker. He has such a good feel for the game. Anytime you have that type of overall game, then you're an asset. So playing Bogey with the Luka Doncic combination with De'Aaron Fox, that'll be a dream scenario for the Sacramento Kings or for any roster. If you're the Hawks, if you're the Mavericks, Dennis Smith Jr., Luka Doncic, that'll be super awesome to watch. The Hawks can use a guy like Luka Doncic. All these teams, all these bottom barrier teams can use a Luka Doncic. And make no mistake about it. Kings are going to sign Cousins in the offseason. Again, he's not going to come to Sacramento, so that stop it. Uh, how tall is Luka? Luka right now is 6'8", can potentially be 6'9" or 6'10" by the time he hits 20 years old. And even if he stays at 6'8", to me, that's already NBA small forward size. So he has good size to him already. So 6'8". If you guys want to call in again, the number is 209-565-3079. I want to talk to you guys. You guys can go ahead and call in right now. Someone said Trey Young equals Jimmer Fredette. There's nowhere near Jimmer Fredette. Jimmer Fredette did not have the explosiveness. He did not have the speed, the ability to pass the ball the way he does. Trey Young is the full package. He is a pick and roll savant, just like Luka Doncic is. Anytime you have a feel for the game like that, to me, is a hands down top 5 pick. So, which is why Trey Young will go as a top 5 pick in the 2018 draft, which is loaded. I mean, I just named 7 guys right there who are just really, really talented. Uh, Michael Porter Jr., which again, I won't be mad if the Kings go after him, but right now I have him 6th on my big board because of injuries. If not, he would be top 5, top 4. I love Jaren Jackson, guys. I truly do. So again, I got my top 3 hands down, right? I got Luka, Aiden, Young, and then I have Jaren Jackson, Bridges, Porter, and I have Bagley after that. So lots of good stuff there. Tobias is a free agent. Uh, Tobias, I don't believe Tobias is a free agent. Avery Bradley's a free agent. Uh, I'm almost certain that Tobias is not a free agent, but I'll double check on that. Someone can just go ahead and double check on that. A guy that I tweeted about, which is last game that the Kings played against, was Toronto Raptors. No, it was the Portland Trail Blazers. Jurg Jurkit Nurkic, which I think he would be an upgrade on anyone on his roster. The Blazers are tied up to so much money that I highly doubt they would be able to match an offer of anywhere from 18 to 20 million dollars. I know it's a lot of money, but that might be what it would take to lure a guy like a Nurkic to the Kings, who is 23 years old. I think it'll be a great fit. He can pass, he can score. The only issue that I see with the Nurk in Sacramento is his ability to stay on the floor. He sometimes has that hot head to him, which I don't like, but his overall skill and talent, I love it. He's injured way too much, but again, he's 23 years old. He lost a bunch of weight over the offseason. He's not having that great of a year, and he's averaging 14 and 8, which is better than anyone on this roster. So that would be an instant upgrade. And with so much money that the Kings will have over the offseason, then expect that for expect him to be an option and a very dark horse option for the Kings. Nurk would be good. Fox and Mason are the future. Kings don't need Young, Trey Young. When that bring confusion with De'Aaron Fox? Nah, I think Fox and Trey Young would be perfect together. It'd be like Chris Paul and James Harden, obviously at a lower level, but something close that you would want that type of a tandem. Them two would be just, I think, spectacular, man. Because De'Aaron Fox can guard the opposing shooting guard because he's big enough, he's fast enough, and if he gains and if he puts more weight on, then expect him to guard the opposing shooting guards anyway. Because that's the that's the beauty of having De'Aaron Fox. So if you guys want to call in, please do so. Papagiannis lost half weight though too. Yeah, bro, but please don't compare Nurkic to Pop. I mean, Nurkic averages 14 and 8 at the highest level, and he's having an off year. So Papagiannis and Nurkic are nowhere near the same. Nurkic will command $15 million at the very minimum from any team next season. Like, no question about it. So obviously no one in the NBA wanted to even take a flyer on Papagiannis. The fact that the Raptors took a flyer on Malachi Richardson tells you how they view Malachi. Nobody wanted Papagiannis. Nobody. So please do not compare him to Nurkic. I'm just saying. Um How long how long have I been on already, man? Because I do not know. Again, the number to call in is 209-565-3079. I would like to listen to you guys so you can join the conversation. Again, the three topics was the overreaction of the Cavs roster, this new above average roster with a superstar, obviously LeBron James. The T-Wolves, how they compare against other teams in the West. Again, they're right now, they're my fourth big board, potentially number three. The Rockets, the Warriors, clear cut better, but the Thunder are right there. The T Wolves definitely will give them a run for their money. They're super young. They don't have much playoff experience, so that will be an issue. But a good thing. I mean, making the playoffs and making some noise, possibly getting out of the first round, will be a huge step in the right direction for that organization. What's up, boss? Up production, love you, Leo, but I feel like you hype a bogey too much and don't give enough credit to Buddy. I love Buddy Hill, but Buddy Hill to me is a sixth man on a very, very good team. So I think he's a sixth man on this team. And to me, some people take sixth man out of context. Sixth man in NBA terms is a good thing. Like if you can make a Jamal Crawford, Manu Ginobili type career, Lou Williams type career, and play over 10 seasons, making millions of dollars scoring the basketball off the bench and being that lift that most teams need, that is winning basketball. You want that type of guy. Buddy Hield is a guy that can get you 18 points in a matter of seconds, right? We saw it against the Blazers. We've seen it all season long. But he is not a playmaker. His basketball IQ is growing. It's improving, but he's not Bogdanovich. He's just not. Bogey can shoot just as well as him, but he chooses to get everyone involved. You can even hear from Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is said multiple times. He's told me multiple times. Bogey has made him better because of his unselfish type of play. Buddy Hield he's a tunnel vision guy, which every team needs, like a Clarkson, like a J.R. Smith, a guy that can get you a shot in a very critical moment. That's what Buddy Hield is to me. And I would tend and I would believe that he would agree with that. Is he a starting shooting guard? To me, he's not. Again, that's subjective. Just because he doesn't start doesn't mean he won't finish games. I see him finishing a lot of games because he is such a weapon from anywhere on the floor to score the basketball. But again, some people associate six man as a negative thing, and to me, it's a huge positive. Let me know how you feel about that. That's how I feel about that. But when it comes to the overall game of a Bogdanovich and a Buddy Hield, you have to give the nod to Bogey because Bogey, if you put Bogey in that situation just to shoot the rock, he will. I mean, Bogey has made so many big shots already in his career, right? Made one the other night, and I just believe and I know for a fact that anyone with high basketball IQ would agree that he is the better player. Not to say that Buddy is not a very good player because he is. He's good for what he does, which is score the basketball. That's what he does. He's Buddy buckets. He gets buckets. He will make millions of dollars, and he's making millions of dollars getting buckets, and that is very very key for any basketball team. Do you think we should have gotten Jay Crowder in the trade? I think that would have been huge, but the pieces just didn't fit, and the Jazz gave up on Joe Johnson. Um, I just don't think that was ever in in the structure of that deal. So look, I love Jay Crowder, but I think Jay Crowder is in a better situation in Utah with a guy like a Kirk Snyder, and that type of an offense with a lot more structure. So I'm just gonna bank on the draft, man, and try to get in a wing. If not DeAndre Ayton, that would be a nice fit as well. But again, I would go after Luka Doncic and just fill in be your biggest need, which is that small forward position. He can he can play that, and he would be a great complement to Bogdanovich, to De'Aaron Fox, to a lot of these guys. Again, the Cavs, Timberwolves, the Jazz were the main topics of this first episode of NBA Power Hour. It's 5:33. We've been doing this for 33 minutes. If you do want to call in, let me know right now. LeBron will come to the Kings and truly be a king. Very good answer, bro. I appreciate you, Boss Up Productions. On another note, yesterday we saw De'Aaron Fox take another huge step in the right direction, just showing signs that he will be a star in this league. I'm super, super excited. I'm convinced. I know the metrics might not be in his favor. If you guys can follow me on Twitter right now, I'm having a conversation with a guy who I respect, and his name is Cranges McBasketball. Also goes by Tim. He's a Laker guy. He has all the metrics, and he looks into the deep analytics and the numbers. But there are so many exceptions in life, and especially to me in the situation where I don't care what the numbers say. My eyes tell me that De'Aaron Fox will be a star. I'm not saying Lonzo won't be a star because I do think he will. But when someone wants to make the argument that Fox won't be a star, barring injury, of course, this is always, 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 guys, this is always barring injury. De'Aaron Fox, to me, will be a star, hands down. I can't wait until that happens. He might be a star next season. If he puts on more weight, more strength, that'll help him a lot. That'll be tremendous for his growth as a basketball player because he doesn't finish through contact. Even though I feel like he gets fouled every time and they won't give him the call because he is a rookie, but if he does add that weight and then he has that good relationship with the refs, he'll say something to the refs, and he'll be like, "All right, he's not DeMarcus Cousins. He won't get in their faces and cuss them out," and that matters because that'll help you in the long run, which is all that matters. This season doesn't matter. This season is all about developing and seeing and foreseeing what you can see in the future. Like you want to see these guys show flashes of brilliance, and De'Aaron Fox did that and has been doing that since his return, which is all of 2018. This month he's been playing well as well. The month of January was really damn good for him. He got snubbed out of the rookie game, but it's okay because the rookie game doesn't really matter. What do you think about Willie's third year so far? Frank Mason out playing Fox this year. Frank Mason hasn't played, bro. I thought at the time he was out playing Fox, but Fox, since his return from injury, has been playing better than Frank Mason. I'm just keeping it real with you. He's been better than Frank Mason. He's shown a lot more potential than Frank Mason too. So yeah, again, even when Frank Mason was outplaying him earlier in the year, I would still say, and I kept saying to fans, long term, because this is long term, right? De'Aaron Fox is the better player. Period. Willie Cauley-Stein. So Willie, he's been playing very good the past month and a half. He's put some really good games together, but I'm just not convinced, man. I'm just not. That's why I'm saying the Kings can potentially and should go after Nurkic. If, I think he's a better basketball player. They're both just Willie's 24, right? So Willie's 24, Nurk is 23. That's roughly the same age, same difference. I just think Nurkic, even with all the injuries that he's had, he's the better player. And as of right now, like if I had to choose between Willie and Nurk right now, I'd go with Nurk. But if Willie continues to show that he can be that guy, which the Kings will have a tough decision to make because Willie after this year is available for the extension. Should the Kings negotiate with him, get him at a cheaper price now, or wait for next season, see how he plays. If he does play well, he's going to be worth more money. But if he plays less, you kind of got stuck in paying him more. So it's tough right now. I just don't know what to make of it. Will he continue to play well? To me, I think it's 13 and 8 that he's averaging. That's not worth the max, which I feel like his people will command the max. And knowing how the market is and knowing that the Kings have money, they might want to, command that. And if I'm in that meeting, I kind of laugh at it and I'm like, no, you're not going to get the max. To me, you're not worth 15 to 20 million dollars, although his people will most likely want 15 to 20 million dollars. But it's something to think about, definitely. The Kings are in a tough situation because Willie shows flashes, but then he's inconsistent. So he's a type of guy that will dunk in your face, but he will miss, an easy rip through shot when he should be making those type of shots. To me, he's still not a consistent finisher. He'll have highlight dunks, but he's not a consistent finisher. There's a big difference, guys. Okay, consistent finisher, highlight dunks, right? He'll have a couple of highlight dunks almost every game. But when you really need that rip through Zebo type of play, he's not that guy. I'm sorry to say it, man. Just don't see it. And sometimes he's a step too slow and seeing the play. He sees it late. Some guys don't even see it, but he does see the play. He'll see the cut, but then he makes the pass. He'll make the silly pass or the late pass, and that just gets Coach Yeager fired up. I mean, you've seen it multiple times, even yesterday. I'm not going to repeat what he said, but you guys can go on Twitter and see what Dave Yeager had to say right before the half. Of course, that was Buddy Hield, but still, there have been some bonehead moments that Willie has had as well. And again, that's why it's so tough for me to answer that question. I think Willie's worth $8 to $12 million. But when you start getting into that 15 to $20 million range, I'd take a pass. Honestly, I would. Um, he might watch this or might not watch this, or his people might watch this and be like, well, I'm not hating. I'm saying he is worth the 8 to 12, but he's not worth the 15 to 20 or even 13 to 20. I think, or maybe they can come in the middle and get him that $13 million. I'm not sure, but it's tough, guys. We all know Will doesn't deserve a max, but he does deserve something even as backup next. He misses a lot of easy buckets all the time. Yeah, guys. So I've been saying that again. What do you guys think he's worth? To me, he's in that 8 to 12 million range, max 12, low 8, so maybe 9 or 10. To me, that'll be fair as a backup at the very worst, because you see Costa making $8 million, which I think is good, like really good. So if you can get Willie at 9-10, that'll be fair for both parties. But if he wants 15 to 20, as of right now, I'm saying buy, because we still have to see that we still have to see next season. But as of right now, he hasn't shown enough to command that 15 to $20 million, at least in my opinion. Um, Someone said 8 to 13 is max. That's roughly where I'm seeing it. I would say 8 to 12, but 13 might be a little bit hesitant to make that deal, because I'd rather give Nurkic 15 to $18 million than to give Willie 15 to $18 million. So that's just my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about that. So it's 5:41. This first episode of NBA Power Hour is brought to you by Valley Tire Center. They're having amazing deals right now on all the tires. They do brakes, they do tire alignment. If you download their app, you get a free tire balancing. Free. FREE tire balancing. That's about $40-$50 right there. So go down, download the app, Valley Tire Center, and you will get a free tire balancing. Make sure you tell them that you heard about this deal on the Cowbell Kingdom podcast or NBA Power Hour. Either way, you say Leo Bias, they'll know, and they will give you this great promotional offer. So go and take advantage of this amazing deal. It's almost Valentine's Day, so that might be a good Valentine's gift. Who knows, man? And again, if you do want to call on the show, it's 209-565-3079. We are doing this every single day, 5 p.m., maybe not Friday, because I fly out about 5 in the morning. I'll be in LA for All-Star Weekend. I'll try to do it roughly around 11, 12, or 1 on Friday, but every day this week, we're going to do it 5 p.m. Bring your popcorn, because it's going to be a great show every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 p.m. Make sure to join us. I would love to hear about you guys. I want you guys to call in. I'm not sure why people are not calling in. The viewers are going up because it's 5:40. See, I was trying to think of a time that people can really join the conversation, and I wasn't sure if it was a 5 or 6. But see, the element of a 5 or 6 is games are either ending or in the middle, say halftime, or they might just start if you're Pacific time. So it's so hard. And if you do it in the morning, you at least us, we probably won't get as much engagement because people are either in school or either at work. So I'm not sure what the best time is to do this NBA Power Hour. And then so I thought 5 was the best time. I might be wrong. I'll see how with all the analytics and what they say and what the engagement is, but I haven't received a call yet, like I did the other show, which was a little bit later, I believe. So I don't know. You think someone will pay Willie 18? I don't think nobody will pay Willie $18 million, but you also don't want him to walk and then get paid $13 million. You know what I mean? So if you let him walk, and you lose him for nothing, maybe you can do a sign and trade when it comes to that moment. Again, the Kings are in a tough predicament with Willie Cauley-Stein because I'm not sold on him, and I know they're not sold on him either. So, but you also can't let him walk away for nothing. You have to just like the Clippers. As much as they were sold on Blake, they were never really sold on Blake because he's so unreliable. He's a guy that always gets injured in big time moments in the playoffs. You cannot expect to give a guy 35 million plus million every single year, commit to that type of a player and expect him to take it to the promised land. Like, it's not going to happen. So ownership gave him the big money, gave him this fake ceremony about his retirement or whatever, and then they got assets out of it. They got Tobias Harris, a first round pick, Avery Bradley, an expiring contract. You have to do it that way because it's a business. Again, I used this analogy last time. If you own a business and you're paying a guy $10,000 and he's not producing, he's not executing, he's not bringing you that money, and you're not breaking even in terms of production or profiting, then you got to let that guy go. And the Clippers felt like Blake was not worth the money that he commanded because of the market, right? There's market value, and that's what he was. He's been there his entire career, so he got the full max. It is what it is. That's how they felt about that guy. Again, I will be at All Stars this weekend. I'm flying out roughly about 5 in the morning on Friday, getting there about 7 in the morning. So I'll be there all weekend long. I arrive about 8 or 9 a.m. on Monday, which is President's Day. So that should be fun, guys. Um, Someone just asked me, who would you pick number one, Luka or Aiden? Luka Doncic again. I got Luka number one, Aiden number two, Trae Young number three, Jaren Jackson number four, Miles Bridges number five, Michael Porter Jr. number six because of injuries. If not, he'd be 4 or 5. Marvin Bagley as number 7, Mikal Bridges, Colin Sexton, Kevin Knox. They're all right there. I don't know really where to rank them depending on who drafts at that certain position. That's where I'm going to have them. But my top wings, Miles Bridges and Michael Porter Jr. Even though we haven't watched him play, there are some reports that he might come back and play, which is significant progress, but it's not enough to move the needle for me unless he does play. If he does play, and it's a whole different thing. But it's 5:47, 13 minutes till the end of the show. We might end the show sooner. We might not end the show sooner. I'm not sure. I think I've covered all the bases again. I'll recap what I spoke, what I talked about. The Cavaliers, the Timberwolves, the Utah Jazz. I'm not convinced on this overhyped Cavs roster. George Hill, Larry Nance, Clarkson, Hood, Osman. I can't trust these guys in a big picture scenario and tell myself that they are better than the players on the Bucks, the Celtics, or the Raptors. I just don't see it. Call me crazy. I'm not sure. Sure, if LeBron goes ham and he does LeBron things, that might be able to sneak them and get them over the top, but I just don't see it. I don't see it because in the playoffs, you really need your nucleus to be strong, and not having Kyrie Irving, it's going to hurt, man. It's going to hurt, which is why I have the Raptors, Celtics, and Bucks asterisk there with the Bucks. If Jabari Parker comes back to form, that's why I have the Bucks over the Cavaliers because Jabari Parker is better than everyone besides LeBron James. Bledsoe is better than everybody besides LeBron James. Middleton to me is better than everybody besides LeBron James. Again, Kevin Love, and I'm not talking Kevin Love because we don't know if Caleb will come back to his normal self. So he might not come back. He might come back. He probably will come back. But as of right now, talking about the guys that are on the roster, and if it came down to those guys, I don't see it. I just don't see it, man. I don't see how they're better than them. And going back to the T Wolves, the Houston Rockets, Golden State Warriors are clearly better, and then you got the OKC Thunder who are slightly better, and then they're better than the Spurs because there's no Kawhi Leonard. So I expect him to win the first round series, most likely get eliminated in the second round, but that would be a huge move in the right direction for that organization. And then with the Utah Jazz, I like what they did with Jay Crowder and acquiring Jay Crowder. I think under Kirk Snyder and that type of defensive system with a lot of structure and some nice talented pieces, the Ricky Rubios, the Rudy Goberts, and the star Donovan Mitchell. That'll be a nice fit for Jay. And then you got nice little pieces like Royce O'Neal, and stuff, and players like that on that team. We also went over the Kings and why I think De'Aaron Fox would be a star in this league. You guys can go ahead and scroll through the show after it's processed, it's streamed for your pleasure. But other than that, guys, let's see. Do you see Luka as a franchise? I do see Luka as a franchise player, which is why I would take him in this loaded draft as my number one option. We need small forward next year. Already mentioned. Oh yeah. Um, don't have much else to say. If you guys don't want to call in, you guys will see the cool thumbnail again. This episode, NBA Powerhouse. This first one I think has been very good. You guys started to come in roughly after the 30-minute mark, which has been good. I love you guys. You guys can follow us on all social media platforms at Basketball Zone Official if you want NBA coverage. We have some good stuff there as well. At Cowbell_Kingdom if you want Kings coverage, Sacramento coverage. That's the page to go. You guys can follow us on Twitter. You can follow me at Biasleo, Emmanuel at Emmanuel Basulto. You can follow Manny at Manny Vietes. You guys can follow everyone. The links are down below. Again, make sure to visit Valley Tire Center. The links are below in the description box. You get free tire balancing. And don't forget to share this NBA Powerhouse episode on this beautiful Abraham Lincoln President birthday. Episode 1 of NBA Power Hour, brought to you by Valley Tire Center. I'm Leo Biaz, guys. You guys can follow me also on Twitter. I'm good. Is anyone else? Let me see. Any future plans on Kings being on your podcast before the end of the season? I have plenty of Kings on the podcast. Plenty of Kings on the podcast. So stay tuned for that. Have you seen Giles live? And so do you believe the hype of the Rook next year? Okay. Talking about Harry Giles, I'll mention that briefly before we end the show. Harry Giles, he has it all, right? We know what he can do. He's athletic. He can shoot. He can pass. His biggest attribute is passing the ball, is what I'm hearing, because we don't see the scrimmages and stuff like that. But I'm super excited about Harry and his ability to dribble at 6'10", and he has big soft hands, right? Those C Webb, DeMarcus Cousins hands. We don't know how he's going to perform when the lights are on him, and that's anyone though in life, right? Sometimes you might uh, study a lot for this test, and then when you get to the test, you get like this thing that just clears your mind, and you just get that stage fright, right? We don't know how he will perform. He hasn't played much. The limited minutes that he had at Duke, that guy was a shell of himself. High school, had multiple injuries. So that's the element that we don't know yet. Will he be able to put it all together? Because he has all the talent in the world, but will he be able to put it all together and perform at the highest level, which is the NBA level? We'll see. I hope he does. I think he will, but I'm not sure. And it's something that nobody knows, not even him. He doesn't know if he will be able to perform at that level. We just don't know, guys. Um, but yeah, that'll do it, man. Thank you guys so much for being on this live stream. You guys can go ahead and follow us. Again, I've already repeated all that. You guys can buy your CK merch. If you want to get featured, please do so. Support the channel, support the good cause of Cowbell Kingdom. Basketball Zone Official. More merch coming out, more vlogs coming soon. Thank you guys so much. And on behalf of the entire CK team, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 5 p.m. NBA Power Hour. Tell your friends, tell everyone. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys. See you guys on the next show tomorrow, 5 p.m.